Estas cremdese azantes. Welcome, video lovers. Welcome to Tack Nerd 1.0. Fellow humans, we're going to call this one Gun Auction Haul number 3, I guess. I do these, I've been doing them. They're not super popular, but I don't care. I just like doing them. I do these gun auctions at least a couple times a year and see what kind of stuff I can get. Sometimes we get good stuff, sometimes we don't, sometimes we get a deal, sometimes we overspend. But it's it's something for all of you to see what you can get out there and what kind of deals you can find. And there are deals to be had. Now, I just did one a little bit ago, and I kind of got a deal. I kind of got a project is what I got. But we'll get into that later. So I just want to show you, I did get a few lots here and did bid on some other things. There was some interesting stuff. One good part that you can look at from these auctions. Now, the one I participate in is in New York State. A couple of the other ones that I'm going to be looking at are also in New York State. And because I am in a free state, sometimes I can get a good deal because unfortunately the people there, they cannot have some of the stuff that is for sale. Now, call me a shark or whatever if you want, but at least I know the stuff is going to good hands and it's not, not going to someone who's just going to crush it or something, I guess. But that is something to look for. If you are in a free state, you can scope out auctions from non-free states and you might be able to get a decent deal on some things, primarily magazines. And that's what we're going to get into here first. These are Mini 14 magazines. And so they are, now we're going to say these are 25s, which I think they actually are, because these are smaller than the 30s that I have. I did take measurements of them. So I'm pretty sure they're not 20s, because this is a 20. I don't think they're 30s, but they're not marked anywhere. And I know everyone's going to say that these are Pro Mags. It's possible they are, but I have some Pro Mag 30s, like I said, and these don't look like them. It is possible that these are older Pro Mags and maybe they've made some upgrades since then. But anyways, I'm pretty sure this is a Pro Mag because I don't think anyone else made nickel-plated magazines other than Ruger and Pro Mag. So maybe they are, maybe they're just an older type. Now, they didn't look this good when I had them. I'll put up a little picture. I cleaned these up a little bit. They didn't really need much. I will say this though, the person that owned these beforehand, he unfortunately just gooped on the springs. They were just gooped with grease, and it wasn't, I don't know what kind of grease it was, but it wasn't good. And you could hardly depress the followers. They were just really bad. So I did get new springs in these. The other problem is that, and I'm assuming because I don't know, maybe he was having problems with them or what, but he ended up shaving off parts of the followers too. And I don't think that really improved reliability. We'll see when I take these out to try them. I did end up ordering new followers. We'll see, but don't grease up the springs on your magazines. Just don't do that. It's only going to make things worse. I have heard some people say that you could put a very, very, very light coating of oil on the springs. I wouldn't even do that. I just leave them alone. Most of the new ones are self-lubricating anyways. These old ones probably not, but just keep them clean and you're fine. You really don't need to oil them. So I know everyone down in the comment section is going to be angrily typing, just toss those out right now. Don't use non-Ruger magazines in a Mini 14. But you know what? I've already done so, and largely they're fine. You can see where I tested one of my Pro Mags, and believe it or not, it worked okay. Now, I will say Pro Mag is a roll of the dice going in, because you're either going to get a good one that works or a bad one, and the chances are from literally one type of magazine to the other. I mean, it's very possible this one could work great and this one can't. And they could be coming off the same assembly line. It's just how Pro Mag is. That going in. So it is a roll of the dice whenever you get Pro Mag stuff, but these were cheap. I think, again, because they're coming, it was an auction in a non-free state. I think I paid, I think it was like maybe 15 or 20 quatlus for all three of these. For that kind of money, I'll take a chance. It's not really a big deal to me. I also bought these. I don't know why. They did have a Mini 30 up. I didn't end up bidding on it because I'll show you. I ended up getting something else. Eventually, maybe I would like to get one. But these, I don't know. I threw a $10 bid on these and I got it. So these are, again, these are Mini 30 magazines. I'll just store them away again, and we'll see what comes of that. But again, they are Pro Mags. People are going to squeal that I should just toss them out. But you know what? We're going to try them and we'll see. For 10 quatlus, essentially 5 a piece, I'll take a chance. It's not a big deal. Okay. So anyways, magazines, that was a big thing I got. All right, the next thing is what's in here, and those are the lot tags. First off, we'll show you the first one is this little gem right here, and this is a US, I think it's called US Revolver Company. I think you can see right there, US Revolver. Now I guess these were at one time this was an Iver Johnson, and then they decided to use the name US Revolver. I don't know why, but this is chambered in 38 Smith & Wesson, which is not 38 special. But these, believe it or not, these were kind of I guess you could call it a sort of a Saturday night special of its day. They were relatively inexpensive, and they still are. Now this one's pretty badly rusted. This was nickel plated at one time. You can see most of the nickel plating is coming off. Whether I'll do anything with this or not, I don't know. But for the hefty sum of 40 quatlus, I decided to take a chance and just we'll make a video out of this, and we'll see. Now, oddly enough, I did order some ammo for this. I was able to find some through an online source. Probably can't say who that is, but I got I think 100 rounds for it, and believe it or not, it cost more than the pistol cost. So if that tells you anything. Now, I will reload for this, and I have heard from a few people, namely Blind Sniper, who I think he has one of these. He said that he loads his with 38 special bullets and they work just fine. Even though the 38 Smith & Wesson, I believe, is larger, 4,000th of an inch larger. We're going to give it a shot and see how it works. I don't really foresee any issue. I know everyone has said you do want to generally use leaded bullets for it, but these are a really interesting old pistol. They're top break, which is always cool, and you can see it's got that self ejector thing, which is really neat. The other thing cool about these is that they had a safety bar, which was very much ahead of its time. For a pistol that's probably 100 years old or almost 100 years old, that's a pretty modern day advancement, to have it in something like this. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Again, this is going to be more of an oddity or just a piece from my collection. I'll make a couple videos out of it. I don't foresee it being used as for much other than that. So anyways, that was something. The other thing, and the thing that I really enjoyed getting, was this. And this is very nice. Unfortunately, I think I probably did pay a bit too much for this, but considering what it is, this is a 686-2. It is without the safety, the frame lock. Some people derogatorily call it the Hillary hole, but this is without that. It is a beautiful weapon.
An elegant weapon for a more civilized age.
It is stainless steel. You can see that it's got the, I guess you'd want to say, matte stainless on top here for when you're aiming. There's just kind of the U-notch back, orange or red tip at the barrel, the front sight. It is a very easy sight picture to see, not hard at all. So we'll see when we get out to test these. Been wanting one of these for a long time. The other thing I wanted this for is I wanted to have a 357 because I now have a 357 lever action, and that makes the perfect pair. It's a great FUD pair to have, so you can have same ammo in each one. So that'll be great for hunting or for just trips into the woods and stuff like that. Now this is a heavy sucker, I will tell you. It certainly is. The trigger is really, really, really nice. It is clear. And let's test the trigger pull. Now we'll do, like I said, we'll do double action first. Or single action first, sorry. Yeah, it didn't read. All right, let's try that again. Okay. So looks like just under 4 pounds. Try that once more. About the same, maybe 3.5. Once more for science. Science! And about the same, just under 4 pounds. Now, we can try it, double action. My guess is it's gonna go past 8. That's my guess. Yeah, goes past 8. So, it's typical for a double action for a revolver. That is not unheard of. So, person that had this before me, I think he kind of took care of it, but not quite. It was still dirty. Barrel was still dirty. Cylinders were still dirty. Cleaned it up as much as I could, just, by hand. I'll probably go ahead and blast this, probably soda blast this. I want to get this sort of matte look on the whole thing rather than this shiny look. So we'll see if we can get it back to, I don't know if they came like that from the factory. I think they do now. They have more of a matte look now, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. But yeah, this is going to be, it's going to be great to take to the range, going to be great to take hunting and trips into the woods, and great for testing as well. Be able to test 357s and 38s out of this. So should be really great. But this was definitely one of my white whales. Really not much else that I am looking for as far as whales go. So, but really excited that I got this. We'll do a lot of videos on this. We'll do some on everything else that we scored today or the other day. But yeah, so just kind of a picture of what you can get at auctions if you look around and, take your time and be a little strategic on what you're looking for. So that's about it for today, everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned. We're going to be doing some upgrades from our other auction and the last project we did, and a few other things, more RXM videos coming up as well. So if you're subscribed to me to see, those should be coming up as well. All right. Thanks, everyone. This is Tac Nerd. And remember, stay sharp, stay ready, and Tac Nerd is your friend in the apocalypse.
Welcome to Tac Nerd 1.0. I hope you liked the video, and remember to like, share, subscribe, and let us know what you think by making a comment below.